Okay. Now, hello, good afternoon. We're going to present a summary of what we have done for the final project on the assignment Metodología aplicada al proyecto de investigación. Here are our names, and we're going to start with my classmate Rebecca with the introduction.
Hi, I will present the introduction. The machine translation tools like DeepL and Google Translate have changed how students learn and translate. These tools are fast and give good results, so many students use them often. They can help with vocabulary and grammar, but using them too much can be a problem. Students might stop thinking deeply about the text or learning how to solve translations problems by themselves. Also, if they don't correct the final translation can sound wrong or miss the real meaning. That's why it's important to teach a student how to use the MT the right way, not to depend on it, but to use it has a super while building real translation skills. The problem addresser in this study is the excessive use of machine translation tools by students in the linguistic applied to English teaching and translation at the University Autónoma de Nuevo León. Um, MT can be helpful in the classroom and daily task. Is its overuse may limit the students' ability to build vocabulary, develop linguistic autonomy, and strengthen the professional competence required in the translation fields. If not properly addressed, this issue may result in graduates lacking the language proficiency and problem-solving abilities needed in real-world translation settings. In academic environments, such relies may also raise concern about academic integrity and the authenticity of students' work.
Okay, now we are going to pass to the background of the study. I'm going to present that part. Now, um, we have made a research for the whole semester about 20 or 20 around 20 or 25 studies to make this project. One of the key aspects that we want to emphasize in the background of the project is the benefits and background and drawbacks of machine translation. One of the many benefits that we could find is that it's very cheap in terms of time, resources, and also the overall cost is it's much more easier to use, for example, buy a license of a software to make the translation for yourself than asking a specialized person on the field. It's much more it's much faster than what a human translator can take to make to give an example of 50 pages document. But it also comes with its drawbacks, as my classmate Rebecca mentioned in the introduction. One of the main drawbacks you could find is that machine translation does not have any understanding of the nuances that a language may have. For example, how to use properly an expression, how to use the slang. Most of the time, it does not consider it. One other drawback that we could find is also For example, how how this tool may impact, if not used properly, may impact the academic field of us students, which is the focus of this project. How how could it affect the literacy acquirement, the critical thinking, and that sort of skills that we need to develop, as well as to give an example, a real world example. We we engage with some studies about how the use of machine translation is actually detrimental for the medical field, since, well, as a machine, it's not able to convey the information in a sensible manner, or is not going to give the details that the it, it lacks the human element that we need to convey certain sensitive information, or any information of that kind in particular. Now we are going to pass to the theoretical framework presented by my classmate Mariano.
Okay, now in the chapter 2, we're going to talk about the theoretical framework that in this study looks at how machine translation MT affects language learning in translation studies. As MT becomes more common in professional and educational settings, it's important to understand both its benefits and challenges. The research is based on case studies about translation, language learning with technology, and digital skills in higher education. The goal is to better understand MT's role in translator training and promote critical use of it on the classroom. The definition of what machine translation is: the machine translation (MT) is the use of automated software that translates text without human involvement. The MT is based on probability, not meaning. The What are machine translation tools? The translation tools are generally understood as software helping the translator to translate a written text, uh, in this case to students, to to help them to translate. The characteristics of what machine translation tools have is the easy speed and efficiency. MT processes large volumes of text quickly, enabling fast communication across languages. The other characteristic is the cost effectiveness, that it refers to its ability to provide translation services at very low or no financial cost. The easy accessibility. The scalability is the handled vast amounts of text across multiple languages without increasing time or cost, making it ideal for global communication needs to students. And the easy accessibility, that provides immediate language support through translation apps and online tools. Uh, and how much do machine translators affect the quality of translations? Because machine machine tools or automatic translators affect the quality of translators because the students Ya está empezando a grabar. The importance of using translation tools properly. No, how much the two machine translators affect the quality of translation? Some students depends have a dependence of these machine tools or automatic translators and use them too much in the translations. So some cases the quality of translations is bad. So most of students uh, don't use these machine tools. So now my partner Miranda continues this essay.
Now I'm going to present the main objectives of our research. First, we aim to determine if the use of translation tools affects the quality of translation produced by fifth semester light students. Second, we want to analyze the effects of machine translators on the student's ability to use English proficiently and independently. And third, our goal is to describe the key characteristics and differences between translations done with machine translation tools, and those done by human translators using their self-knowledge and research. These objectives guide the direction of our study and help us to focus on real and observable results. Now we have the research questions that from those objectives that we developed, three main research questions. First of all, what are the negative impacts in the quality of translation when fifth semester light students use machine translation tools? Second is how impactful is machine translation in the proficiency and autonomous use of the English language by these students? And finally, what are the main differences between translations done with empty tools and those created by human translators using their own skills and resources? These questions help us to explore both the potential and the risks of relying too heavily on technology in language learning. To conclude this video, machine translation is a helpful tool, but it should not be seen as a full replacement of a human translator. We want to emphasize the critical and thoughtful use of translation technology, especially in academic environments like ours. Also, we believe that promoting translator autonomy, that is, the ability to make decisions, use research, and reflect critically, is essential to developing true translation skills. In short, or in summary, MT is a tool, but not the translator.
Detengan la grabación.